Go live. Hello, hello, hello. We are back. We are back with more Ace Attorney. Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. The final case of the first game in the trilogy. So we are in Rise from the Ashes, trial number 1. Here we go. All right, so we have February 23rd, 9:34 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. How did the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright? Frankly, there are still a lot of gray areas. Or rather, the whole thing is one big gray area. Don't worry about me, no matter what the outcome. I'm ready to accept my fate. I believe in you, sis. Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice. Yes? A defense attorney should never believe their client. Whoa! The defendant is called to trial because they're suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that. Miss Sky, you remind me a lot of Mia. But there's one decisive difference between you and her. And that is... I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I might make a joke, but I'm not going to. You're not a defense attorney. I believe it's almost time for the trial. Good luck, Mr. Wright. My first trial without a Fae helping me. No one's gonna bail me out this time. I'll be alone in there. So I have to discover the truth all by myself. Let's do it, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you the whole way. February 23rd, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 9. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Edgeworth. It's been 2 months, but I haven't been in a courtroom since his trial. I hope that personal feelings will not be a part of the proceedings today, Mr. Wright. I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. Judgment to be made here is in our hands, not those of anyone else. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, please. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutor's office lot. Wow, he's much more forceful in person. I suddenly feel like confessing to everything. However, she will now pay for her rashness with her life. There was a witness to her crime. A professional witness. Well then, call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. Prosecution calls its first witness, Miss Angel Star, to the stand. The cough-up queen? Haven't I seen you somewhere? You ordered the caviar lunch, right? Oh, caviar! I've never eaten caviar before. The judge is really wolfing it down. And for you, I have a fiesta bowl. Thanks. Will the witness state her name and profession? Ah, and you, sir. Did you order the fingerprint lunchbox? It is too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please. Well, Your Honor, how does it taste? So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty, it hurts. I always thought caviar would taste like pickled tapioca. What the heck does pickled tapioca taste like? Name, profession, now! Me? The name is Angel Star. Don't go forgetting it. I find myself running Lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth? Very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us. The prosecution will wait! I have not finished eating. Hurry it up! Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. As you know, we usually call on the police to provide a description of the crime. Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional. Huh? What exactly does that mean? Until 2 years ago, Miss Angel Starr was a special investigator with the police. She was a first-rate homicide detective. What? Miss Starr was a detective? Aha! I know who you are. Cough up? Cough up Queen Angel Starr, Your Honor. Long time no see. Very well. You may continue with the description, Miss Starr. Just who is this lady? If I might have the court's attention over here. The parking lot at the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's office personnel. B block is for visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the 2 blocks. I suppose that's to keep visitors from taking up prosecutor spaces, yes? The crime took place by a car in the back of A block in the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with his knife and went to drive the body out. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness, and an arrest was made on the spot. And who was this valiant witness? Why, it was me, Your Honor. Parking lot floor plans of the parking lot with Edgeworth's car. Got it. Okay. Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime? Of course, Your Honor. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor. It seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright? I can't agree on principle, Your Honor. It seems that some poor loser is unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining? If you can, then give them your worst, Miss Starr. Wait, are they talking about me? Alright, witness's account, here we go. Somehow, I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend when I sensed something. Perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor sitting next to a garish car. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. Bringing a lunchbox to your boyfriend? How touching. As you can see, there's no room for doubt. The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed in Detective Goodman. So, how does it feel to be so utterly crushed? I'm still thinking about that. It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. Okay. Always knew. How did you know? I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime, yet their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy. The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted. Given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim, killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator, and if I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one. Laid off? She was fired? To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I am a pro, as you know. My testimony is unbiased and flawless. Very well. You may continue, Miss Starr. Okay. This boyfriend, he's the detective? Not that boyfriend, the security guard. That boyfriend? You have several? Yes, this boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriend. Care to join? The yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants. I'll stick with the lunches, thanks. Note to self, the judge had to think before replying. The security guard room is in the lot in A block. Alright, and it's up on the second level, so you can see everything from there. That would be the room with the security sign. Incidentally, did you bring your lunchboxes by car? Since I'm a visitor now, I parked in B block. So, she was in B block when she witnessed the crime. And detective's intuition, okay. You sensed something? So you're saying you had a premonition of the murder? It felt like, how would you say? Oh yes. It was like the feeling you get when you view a pumpkin chock full of seeds. I have no idea what that means. Speaking of a detective's intuition, wasn't the victim, Mr. Bruce Goodman, also a detective? Yes, well, he was like a young cheese. A young cheese? A pale white cheese, not yet tangy with experience on the streets. A greenhorn. Then I must be hard, yellowed, and sharp as a tack. Yeah, with the odor of an old cheese to match. In any case, there in the lawn, I felt something stirring in the back of my mind. Wire fence, she saw the chief prosecutor. Yeah. By garish car, you mean Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes. Mr. Edgeworth's? Incidentally, the knife with which the victim was stabbed was also Mr. Edgeworth's, wasn't it? Indeed, it was. What an odd case this is. And the person you saw, you're sure was the defendant? I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. I am certain it was her. If she's telling the truth, we're doomed. Let's just do what we can. Even if we don't have any proof, we can always nitpick. Witness, in your testimony, you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms. Ergo, you are a biased witness. You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, rookie. Rookie. Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me. I'll fry you like a fritter, crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside. That was inspiring. I believe I've heard that tagline elsewhere. You could cry plagiarism? I may be relegated to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed. A photograph? You took this? The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over and snapped. I took a picture. In fact, one of my lunchboxes is rigged with a camera. I suppose that's more exciting than just hanging it around your neck. Witness, why am I only seeing this photograph just now? You think I'd show it to you, a prosecutor? Think again. Oh! My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs. Well, this is most certainly the defendant. Oh no, a crime photo. The moment of the crime is photographed by Angel Starr. Yikes! Uh-oh, that's unmistakably Lana Skye. So, what was the defendant doing at the time? The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand, okay? Tell me more about this knife that the suspect was carrying. Well, I'd say the blade was about 4 inches long. Is that right, Mr. Edgeworth? It is your knife, after all. Yes. That's about right. Prosecutors are, by nature, well-versed in the location of a man's vital organs. I'm sure it was easier than boiling an egg for my egg salad surprise set. You can't testify as to her ability to kill an egg, I mean, a person. And perhaps a chicken salad set would have been a better metaphor. So the defendant was holding a knife. What then? Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. Okay. Tell the court why you didn't try to stop this crime. You did see her raise the knife to strike, no? The defense has a point. Unfortunately, by the time I realized what was going on, it was already too late. Too late? Yes, the next moment, the chief prosecutor brought down the murder weapon. I see. It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it. You said that before. Anything else? Scientifically speaking, Miss Starr's testimony is flawless. Sounds pretty fatal to me. What do we do? Is this it? Is my sister guilty? Let's just keep our heads cool and press the witness a bit, shall we? For some reason, having her panicking next to me makes me calmer. Don't smile like that! Alright, so... one of the more definite things that she says is the chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. So... there was no prints. Why weren't there any prints on the knife if she was holding it in her right hand? Because was she wearing gloves in the picture? Yes, okay, she was wearing gloves, never mind. So that's fine. Let's see, and that's the parking lot, the prosecutor's car. There's the visitor's parking lot. Death through lot, 1 knife wound. Died within an hour and a half at 4 p.m. Victim's memo, that was his. 675, 12-2. And then her cell phone, which she called Emma with. A record of a parking at 512. There's Goodman's card for the police department, but that's not important, I'm guessing. And she throws the pointy tip into Goodman's chest. Loss of blood from a chest wound. Wound was caused by a 4.5-inch knife. Well, she said it was about 4 inches, so that's even accurate. Yikes. Death between 4 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. Then next to a garish car. Holding a knife in her right hand. That knife has traces of the victim's blood on it. The blue badger is not important, I'm guessing. So in the picture, she's not holding a knife. Maybe that's it? She's not holding a knife in the picture? Let's see. And you witnessed this? You saw Miss Sky stab the victim with the knife? As I've already said, yes. I swear it on my finest salmon swirl set. I'm sure that's a fine lunch. But isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. This is the photograph you took of the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Sky not holding a knife? Ahem. Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Objection. That had to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeworth. Yet it was still stronger than your ever-feeble mind, Mr. Wright. Well, what do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing. And how can you tell that? Blood spatter. Uh-huh. See the dark crimson stains on the chief prosecutor's coat? But it's a black and white photograph. Ah, well, yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood. Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem? Except you. Mr. Wright, are you gonna just sit there and take that kind of abuse? Oh, you got a better idea? We'll eject. Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime. Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies. That's it? If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Good advice. I'm not sure I understand it, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Sky was cold, calculating, like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder. Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in that photograph. Well, are those gloves? Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. Oh! Those gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation. Premeditated murder. A serious offense. Witness, add this to your testimony. The murder was planned. The rubber gloves prove it. Let's press on it. What if she was just in the habit of wearing gloves, like driving gloves? The gloves were admitted as evidence when the defendant was arrested. They were rubber gloves, the kind used for autopsies. In other words, when the chief prosecutor came to the crime scene, she came to do murder. It's the only possible conclusion one can make. Everything was planned. It was a premeditated crime. Ugh. Impressive. I'm sorry they took you off the force, mister. This is bad. She's got them thinking this was all planned. If she can prove this claim, the trial's already over. Gotta think of a way to show that this wasn't premeditated. It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it. You said that before. Anything else? Well, scientifically speaking, Miss Starr's testimony is... Oh, wait, we saw this. Sorry. Never mind. We did all that. Let's see. The murder was planned. The rubber gloves prove it. Do they, though? And with this blood and lots of blood. Wait. If it was planned, why did she use Edgeworth's knife? Right? That's a point, right? Right? Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell boxed lunches for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk. Indeed, it is my knife. What's with this case? The bloody murder weapon, a red car, all belonging to the prosecutor there? The defendant is the chief prosecutor for the district, right? Mommy, are prosecutors bad people? Okay. The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony. What's that, rookie? In your testimony, you stated that Lana Skye planned this murder, and that's why she was wearing those special gloves. Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning. However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing? The murder weapon. Oh. This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon. Oh. Order! 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 Great. Now the tide is turning in our favor. Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free. Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. What? Hope you aren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not of such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. Bah! The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. Huh? The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution needs proof. Nothing else. Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now. But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If it wasn't, why would she have been wearing... I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought. How dare you? My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Really now. Angel's deduction. Alright. Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. Wait a minute, that's a big one. The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it? So if I ordered a pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy? That was not a great deduction. No, it was not. In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness. Sholmes would be embarrassed. And this guy intended to murder it. Well, I mean, obviously, plunge the knife in again and again. I mean, that's an easy one. The autopsy report. You say she stabbed him again and again, but you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise. I'm afraid the moss is going under our feet as we wait, Miss Starr. Huh? What do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this. But, take a look. The autopsy report states that death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound. Aha! You're right! A good show, Mr. Edgeworth. What a hunk. He's my hero, really. What about my objection? No one noticed? Well, witness? You got the crime scene set, right? Oh, well, thanks. I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood. Now I realize that such mistakes are possible. So, you're saying you mistook something for blood? When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she might have stabbed him at least twice. Then tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify. Her red muffler looked like blood to me, and that's how ghastly the whole scene was. Her red muffler? Is she even... She's not wearing a red muffler in the picture. Miss Starr, I demand an explanation. The witness is clearly not suited for detective work. What? The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you've proved it yourself with this photograph. Huh? But that can't be. Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly clueless. Congratulations. Perhaps you finally found your true calling in life. Harsh words, but good. In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails. What was my objection? Chopped liver? But it was there. A scarf. No, not that, but something red. Really? Well now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business. What? Very well, witness. Continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that. Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least. Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony. The most important part? The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth. Apprehending the suspect. Okay. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Ah, yes. When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Starr, resistance is futile. You are quite determined about this scarf, aren't you? I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Starr. That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of a snake. Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten. No thanks. Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites. Chief Prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. An oil drum? Hard to imagine. Oh, she's beautiful, but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr! Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you will. Okay, apprehending the suspect. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition. Okay. So where is this partition on the floor plans? I'm sure she means this wall next to the car. That's right. There was a wall there, about 6 feet high. She was obviously trying to hide herself. Quite a natural thing for a criminal to do. And what did you do then? I quickly caught her, explained her rights, and arrested her. Okay. You say quickly. Were you close to the suspect? As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time. Maybe I should press her for more details. Yeah, no, we gotta press. I'd like to see this on the floor plans, just to be safe. The Lunchland car was... She was a visitor, thus she was parked in B block. So you witnessed the murder from here? That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes. Is that correct, Miss Starr? Yes, that's right. But there was a chain-link fence in front of you? I went over it, of course. Amazing! The cough-up queen, lunch lady athlete indeed. I would have taken her out for a little climb over the fence, so she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast. Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high, too. So how did Miss Sky not get away? Ah, yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. She mentioned the muffler? What exactly did she say? If I remembered exactly, I would have told you in my testimony. Cheeky. Anyway, all I heard her say was the word muffler. Just that one word? So, what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but someone else? Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone. Her phone? She can't mean... Yeah. By phone, do you mean this cell phone discovered at the crime scene? Yes, ultimately. Ultimately? My memory... It's like a salmon heading upstream, you see. No, the court does not see, mister. The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall. On the wall? That's right. Near the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall. Apparently, it was out of order. And so she used her cell phone? Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day. Good witnessing, witness. Good witnessing? Whatever happened to good testifying? You should, of course, add this to your testimony. The thing is, the things I do to please this rookie defense attorney. Alright, the word muffler was overheard during a call on his cell phone. Okay. Well, she tried the phone on the wall, but had to use her cell instead. Overheard during a call. So that's the call button. There's no need. Remind it's nothing. Oh, okay. Okay. I saw it all. Okay. Do you think you could restate your testimony for the court? Aha! I was going to ask the same thing. I'll only say this one more time. So listen close, rookies. The chief prosecutor stabbed the victim and ran behind the partition. Then she picked up the emergency phone on the wall, but it was out of order. So she pulled her own cell phone out of her pocket. And during that time, you climbed over the chain link fence. Then, when I boldly grabbed her arm, the chief prosecutor hung up her phone. And you saw her doing this? What is it, Mr. Wright? Was here made to escape. Resistance against Angel Star. Okay. Hmm. 512, 518. Hour and a half before 4 p.m. Interesting. So... Word muffler. Let's see. Lana's cell phone. That's something. And she's... Wait, she saw it all? Wait a minute. How the heck could she have seen it through the partition? She couldn't have seen it through the partition. There's a problem there. Miss Star, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Skye. The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias. Well, who would have thought you'd be my knight in shining armor, prosecutor? You who, together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago. Well, Miss Star, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this? I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me, and I'll make you cough it all up. Let's look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen Miss Skye making that phone call. I believe you see what I'm getting at. That emergency phone was on the backside of this partition. If indeed you were in B Block, you couldn't have seen it. What? Order! What is the meaning of this? It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up lunch, she's coughing up lies. That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me a question. Tell us exactly what lie this witness has told the court. Here's where the counterattack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. The witness lied about where she saw it. Miss Skye tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What is significant about this fact? Nothing. Therefore, it would be pointless for Miss Star to lie about it. Pointless to lie? I see. But say the witness did actually see Miss Skye using the emergency phone. It would mean Miss Star witnessed the crime from a different location. A different location? No, that's a pointless lie if I ever heard one. Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it. Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where was the witness when she saw the crime? All the testimony we've heard until now points in one direction. The place where Miss Star witnessed the crime was... Was she in the security room? I bet she was. This is the only place where she could have been. The security guard room? Indeed. The security room in the underground parking lot is well positioned. It's built on the second floor, so you can see the entire lot. She would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there? There are many other places where she could have seen the phone. Not in this case, Your Honor. The witness, not being part of the prosecutor's office, couldn't park in A Block. The only place where she could have seen the crime, and the back of the partition, is here. I remember in your testimony you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes? Well, Miss Star? How many years have I been getting the better of men? To think that the tables could be turned. Today, a man has got the better of Angel Star. Order! Witness! What have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better. I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished. And I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails. The guilty? Is she talking about Miss Skye? Mr. Wright, doesn't this strike you as odd? Why did Miss Star lie? It doesn't make sense. Huh? She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't change anything. Exactly. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim. That truth still stands. It still stands? I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. What? If a witness is found to be lying, they're guilty of perjury. She knows this. Oh, what? Now we're gonna worry about perjury? Okay. She wouldn't risk that without a good reason. Not like everybody else in this entire series does this. So, tell us what her reason was, Mr. Wright. Me? Well, who else? Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. Miss Starr witnessed the crime from the security guard station. But she lied and said she saw it from B Block. It must make a vital difference, but what? What would change? The angle would change, yeah. The distance to the crime. Well, I mean, the station is above, right? I don't think there'd be a difference in lighting. It would be the same lighting. The angle is the only thing I could think of, because, angle-wise, she would see something a lot different if she was looking above and below, rather than straight on. I think that's got to be it. Yeah, angle because of the picture she supposedly took, which I'm beginning to doubt about the angle, yeah. Why? The angle at which she saw the crime occur would change. The angle? What do you mean? Oh, well, the security guard station is on the second floor, and, she would have sort of a more 3D view of the crime. And this is important. Why? Perhaps you'd like to reconsider, Mr. Wright. Oh, that's not right. Okay. Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. Oh. I know, that was a joke. Jeez. Star witnessed. She lied. Was it distance then? Let's see if it's distance. It changes the distance between her and the scene of the crime. My condolences, Mr. Wright, but one look at the floor plans and it's quite clear. The distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. I don't see how that would change what she could see. What she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime. Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now, how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Miss Skye? Well, witness? You... yes? You ordered the squid wheels, right? The quality of my lunches has gone from low to inedible. I was bringing a PB&J lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend. Boysenberry for the boyfriend? He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass-walled station. And before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it. Oh, she had to go all the way around? That's why I had to go through the visitors' parking in B Block. That's quite a detour. It probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime. 5 minutes? This changes things considerably. But it was that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him. I know it. I have photographic evidence. I swear it. I swear it on my finest plastic spork. You have a point, and the spork is a wonderful invention. Would you like another caviar lunch? Absolutely! Uh-oh. Mr. Wright, you have to do something. Do I have any evidence to stop this? Yes, we got to. We gotta. I'll figure it out later. 5 minutes between the witnessing of the murder and the arrest. Think about it. You could make pasta in that amount of time. If you like it al dente. I've got lunchboxes, the Thai pasta, and a nuts, rookie. A 5-minute blank. Isn't that strange? Strange. If you were a criminal, what would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor? Well, I guess I'd flee the scene. Oh, hey! Don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone. But you have the instincts of a killer. You would run. But this time was different. Miss Skye dawdled at the scene of the crime. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal will act this way. It is inconceivable! Well then, it seems we've come to the end of this testimony. The witness has a grudge against the defendant, and a blank in her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth is the next witness ready to go. Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of her professional history. We did it. We screwed that can shut, Mr. Wright. That was too close. I'm afraid that the cough-up queen has been dethroned. And with that, court is adjourned. Uh-oh. Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid reels, right? That's the one she tried to foist off on me. I prefer to not take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else to say? I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence. What was that? Is this another one of her trick lunchboxes? My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask of you, Miss Starr. Is this your jumbo lunchbox? Woohoo! A triple-decker! Out of deference to the witness's determination, I will allow one more testimony. Let's hear about this decisive evidence. Wow, Judge. Thanks a lot. Like the Lunchland motto says, you won't be disappointed. What's she gonna pull out of her lunchbox this time? Hey. Decisive evidence. I should have mentioned these 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found on this shoe. One was, of course, the victim's, and the other blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lana Skye. This shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence. What? There was blood found on that shoe? Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs. Witness, what's the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence? Simple. As I've already said, I don't trust you with evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself. And you had blood tests performed? Didn't I mention I have 3 boyfriends in forensics? In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence. What? You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, this shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. Edgeworth sure is celebrating. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, the shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. Edgeworth is looking pretty sullen. You could at least study some evidence law, really. The prosecution's complaints notwithstanding, it appears that this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. However, it seems you have yet another count against you, witness. Anything to ensure that the guilty are properly judged. Victim's shoe. White enamel shoe bears traces of blood from Goodman and Lana Skye. Okay. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. Oh boy. I think I need to look at the evidence first. Let's see. I'm assuming this blood just didn't magically show up on the shoe after the fact, unlike some other cases. Let's see. This blood, it's my sister's, right? It appears so. Lana's right hand was bandaged when I saw her in jail. She must have cut herself at the time of the crime. Oh, poor sis. What's this? Ah, there's blood here too! On the sole of the shoe? It's gotta be the victim's. He must have stepped in a puddle of his own blood. Oh, this blood. It's horrible. This blood might be an important clue. Yeah. I mean, what she said about blood splatter, right? Like, if she killed the guy, why would it just be on the bottom of the shoe? Why wouldn't it be splattered on the rest of the shoe? You'd think that the blood was already pooled and she stepped in it after the fact. These 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene, okay? Why did you lie about those 5 minutes? I guess you could say I just wanted people to look at the results. The results? How many times do I have to say this? I saw the chief prosecutor stab the victim before my very own eyes. Compared to that, a 5-minute blank means nothing. Then why didn't you just tell the truth? Don't make me laugh. We're dealing with the most untrustworthy of the vile lot known as prosecutors. Falsified evidence, arranged testimonies, erasing and manipulating evidence. When you fight monsters, you need to use every trick in the book. This when the suspect is admitting she did it? But false testimony is the most despicable crime of all, Miss Starr. Let's just get this over with. And now to the matter of the victim's shoe. And you found this shoe at the scene of the crime? I detained the chief prosecutor and notified the police department. I wanted to make myself useful while I was waiting for the police to arrive. So, like an ill-trained pooch, you snuck off with a shoe. I was afraid someone would erase the chief prosecutor's crime. This shoe was my secret weapon if that should happen. See this fashionable basket I have here? It carries more than lunchboxes, gentlemen. I'm happy for you and your lunchbox bag, really. In any case, you removed valuable evidence from the scene of the crime. Now, tell us what you did next. 2 types of blood. One was, of course, the victim's, okay? So you brought it to the forensics department? If you're going to submit something as evidence in court, you need it approved. To do that, evidence must be analyzed by a forensics expert. And she got away with her little coup because she used to be a detective. The shoe does appear to have bloodstains on it. Well, the man was stabbed after all. And that blood belonged to the victim, Detective Goodman? As I said, there were 2 types of blood found on the shoe. And the other blood type was that of Lana Skye. Gotcha. You can't say for sure that blood belonged to the defendant with a blood test. You claim to know something about blood tests, rookie? Uh-huh. Well, speak up. Well, blood comes in 4 types, A, B, O, and AB. However, you can't tell from a blood test whether a murder was committed in cold blood. That's just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright. Actually, we can differentiate between millions of types with all the blood tests out there, which means that we can more or less narrow down any sample of blood to just one person. Or so I hear. That's pretty specific. If I had a little more time, I would have gotten DNA test results. But they said there's very little doubt it could be anyone but Miss Lana Skies. So the suspect's blood was found on the victim's shoe. That ties her directly to the death of Detective Goodman. I was afraid he was going to say that. Okay. This shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence. I can't let this evidence go through without a fight. You ordered the peppered fish guts, right? Some like it hot, Mr. Wright. Some like your client. She's in enough hot water to make a whole vat of soup. Mr. Wright, do you or don't you have a problem with this shoe? A problem? This is critical. Is there a problem with the victim's shoe? There is a problem. If I'm not imagining things, I'd say there is one critical problem with the evidence. A clear contradiction. That gleam in your eyes. You're still young, rookie. I'd give you a peppered fish gut now. But you couldn't take the heat, could you? Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What is contradictory about the victim's shoe? Show us the problem with his evidence. Hey, okay. It's right here. I wonder if you noticed. There's blood on the bottom of this shoe. Don't mess with me, rookie. Or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe. Indeed, there is quite a bit of blood on the bottom of this shoe. It makes sense. The victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory about blood at the bottom of the shoe? Cause she doesn't... There's no blood on the floor there. Yeah, that's gotta be it. Right? The problem lies in the footprint. The footprint? Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood. Then, isn't it strange? Why were any bloody footprints found by the scene of the crime? Aha! As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about this shoe. This picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints. Then where are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort. Order! 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 Well, witness? What? Huh? Great going, Mr. Wright, but it's true that the lack of a footprint is a contradiction. But then we have to ask why there wasn't a footprint. Oh, that's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint. Think, Mr. Wright, think. Hey, I don't know why it's not there. I'm just good at finding contradictions. What? I see. Now I get it. Get what? Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There's one vital hint to the truth in her testimony. What are you talking about? Think back to when she told us about apprehending the suspect. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hand aside, kicked over an oil drum. Predator. Oh yeah, okay. I thought that was a strange thing for the normally cool-headed chief to do. No kidding. Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty? Oh, that. I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth. Though apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory. Witness, well, was the oil drum empty? The oil drum, kicked over by the chief prosecutor, was brimming with water. Water? What does that mean? Still don't get it, Mr. Wright. Do you want to know the reason she kicked it over? The real reason? Aha! You don't mean... Yes. The suspect knocked over that oil drum for one reason and one reason alone. To erase the bloodstains that would become evidence against her. Oh. That ties things up quite nicely. The bloodstains left on the victim's shoes tie her quite clearly to this murder. Then, after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale signs. Why, that's a prosecutor's specialty. Erasing evidence. That reminds me, this guy's right hand was hurt. Didn't she say she'd cut herself when she stabbed him? So that's when my sister's blood got on the shoe? Well, I see no reason to prolong this trial. Mr. Wright, do something, please. What? What can I do? Your sister's confessed to the crime and she tried to conceal it. But... Enough. There is no need for further debate. The verdict, Your Honor. Very well. But Angel Star is on the prosecution's side. She could have been lying about the water. This court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky. Oh, I'll hold it. Little girl, what did you just say? Me? Did you say that I, Angel Star, was on the prosecution's side? Oh, well, yeah, you are. You're saying my sister hid evidence by erasing the bloody footprints. Well, I thought you'd had your fill, but here you are demanding a second helping. Another lunchbox. A lunchbox called evidence. Wait, witness, but don't tell me you have something else. The time for deliberations has passed. Any further comments, you'll be held in contempt of court. Your threats don't scare the cough-up queen. Look at this. A photograph. I had it just in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the white shoe didn't belong to the victim. I see no room for error in this evidence. Mr. Wright, wait. Look at the asphalt in this photo. Hey, it's clearly wet. Erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind. Immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all. It's not your fault. I knew I couldn't win this case from the beginning. And it seems this is what your sister wanted anyway. I'm sorry, Mia. Right. Wet or not, don't be so quick to throw in the towel. Huh? Get yourself up off the asphalt. Take another good look. Don't give up. Not until the bitter end. This is the last piece of evidence. Very well. This time I'd like to declare a verdict for good. Your Honor, wait. What is it with you people? Can't I hand down my verdicts in peace anymore? Whatever it is, can it wait? No, it can't. Then it'll be too late. Look at this photograph. The last one submitted. This trial isn't over until we give each piece of evidence proper consideration. So, Wright, are you saying there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence? Yeah. I'll think later. Yeah, there is a problem. Right or wrong, I've got to go ahead with this. I suppose since we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show the court the problem in this photograph. Okay, I'm seeing a couple things here. What the heck is that? Why is there something coming out of the tailpipe? That's water, that's what she said. Yeah, stabbed in the chest. That tracks. There's the shoe. That tracks. But what's that in the tailpipe there? I want to know that. The problem in this photograph is here. What's this? There's something poking out of the car's muffler. Wait just a moment, Mr. Edgeworth. Your Honor, you just said muffler. However, I see no trace of a muffler or a scarf of any kind in this photograph. A muffler is also a part of on a car or a motorcycle, Your Honor. Just think of it as part of the exhaust system, a pipe. I see, and I see. What's that suspicious-looking claw sticking out of the car's muffler? So what if there was something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Sorry, Miss Starr, but it's not going to be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to the case. You said as much in your testimony. What? Let's hear what Mr. Wright has on his mind. Tell us why you think this piece of cloth in the muffler is related to the case. Is it her scarf? Is it her scarf? Because she's not wearing the scarf that she normally wears? Let's see. Well, Your Honor, how do you feel about that? Actually, I don't feel well at all. I have this pounding headache. No, I meant, what do you think about the... I'm afraid the reason for that headache is you, Mr. Wright. A cloth was found. Muffler. Where have I heard that word recently? Muffler. Alright, well, they mentioned the scarf, right? So, what would it be? The word muffler was overheard during a call. Yeah. Cell phone. Miss Starr, recall your testimony for the court. Yeah, she mentioned the muffler. Yeah. Muffler. Ah! Ah! Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence. Whoa! So she stuck the muffler in the exhaust pipe? Well, it seems we will have to suspend the proceedings. Suspend? I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. If we leave any question unanswered here, we do a disservice to the law. Have the car at the crime scene inspected at once, and bring me that cloth. The verdict will wait until after we've seen all the evidence. Agreed? I suppose so. Phew, that was close. But we made it, at least for now. This court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime, after all. He's still hungry? To be continued. Well, we got through that part. That was quite a long testimony. But this is actually one of the longest cases in the entire series. Well, some of the cases in Great Ace Attorney are really long, but like for the mainline Phoenix Wright series, this is a really long case. February 23rd, 11:56 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Mr. Wright? Huh? What? Are trials always like this with you? Like you're swimming up from the bottom of a lake about to reach the surface, but no matter how hard you paddle, you never seem to get there? Pretty much. Except today we're swimming in quicksand. So what happened to your sister anyway? Apparently she got called off to the judge's chambers. Probably something to do with that piece of cloth. So, this is how we turn this trial around, right? Our only weapon, a tiny, insignificant piece of cloth. I'm the one who's starting to feel tiny and insignificant, to tell the truth. Hola, partner. They say you show a red cloth to a bull, it'll fire up its temper. That's what they told me when I was a young'un, at least. Officer Marshall! Thought I'd come take a look-see at how the trial's going. Looks like I'm late. They've got the home ranch locked down tighter than a fort in enemy territory. That hard to slip out, huh? What is going on over there anyway? All the police I've seen these last 2 days have been really on edge. Don't you got enough on your plate without worrying about other people, compadre? You could be worrying about the chief prosecutor's taste in mufflers, for example. Officer Marshall? The whole muffler thing didn't have anything to do with scarves. She wasn't even wearing a scarf. You don't say. Now, don't that just beat all? Huh? I've seen the red breeze blow at her slender neck many a time. I saw it that day, too. She was wearing a red muffler. What? At the awards ceremony that afternoon. Edgeworth's seen it, too, I reckon. What does that mean? In the photograph taken at the crime scene, she wasn't wearing a scarf. So, Miss Starr wasn't mistaken. Well, it's about time. Remember, partner, sometimes you gotta grab the bull by the horns. And sometimes you just gotta let that bull go where it will. Time will tell. Ugh, I have a bad feeling about this. So, what are we swimming in now, Mr. Wright? If it's steak sauce, I can hook you up with some fine ribs. Ooh-wee! February 23rd, 12:32 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 9. We're back. I'd like to resume? What's up? The judge keeps looking over at the prosecution. Is something wrong, Mr. Edgeworth? Your face is blue, your lips are purple, you're sweating bullets. Did you forget your mom's spaghetti? That furrowed brow, those grinding teeth, those watery eyes. What's more, your eyes are unfocused, you're doubled over, your back is bent. It can't be. This can't happen. I wonder what happened to Mr. Edgeworth. Well then, I believe it is time we've continued on with this trial. During our recess, I had requested that the prosecution conduct an investigation. This is unacceptable. It seems our prosecutor is quite beside himself. Excuse me, knock knock. Who's there? No. What's with this guy? A strange, stuffy aura seems to be filling the courtroom. Hey, the temperature rose 5.7 degrees when that man came in. Who on earth is he? Dodge, you! Oh, sorry, I'm late, Haji. The roads were packed. It's just me. A long time no see. Haji, how you been? You swim much these days? Hello. No, I've been so busy. Busy smizzy, Haji. My boy. Oh, you have to make time to relax. Yes, indeed. Haji seems to be his nickname for the judge. I'm afraid you're right. I'm very afraid. Sorry, but who are you? So, you're Wright-o, the attorney. I've heard good things about you, son. Thanks? I'm so sorry about our little worthy giving you all that trouble, eh? You know, we should all go swimming together sometime. Jolly! Little worthy? Mr. Wright, you don't know the district chief of police? Chief of police? He's the top-ranking police officer in the entire district. Name's Gant, Damon Gant. Pleased to meet you, everyone. So, to what do we owe this honor today? It's been over 2 years since you last came to this courtroom, hasn't it? Well, it's worthy here. Look at the poor fellow. I just thought I'd help out by bringing this. Hey, that's my sister's muffler. So Miss Star wasn't just seeing things. When the crime occurred, Miss Sky really was wearing that muffler. But to think that it was stuffed into that exhaust pipe on little Worthy's car, no less. It's really quite embarrassing, even for us. What's this? It's what you'd call a switchblade knife. Quite perplexing, this. Chief, what kind of outfit are you running? Mr. Edgeworth, how could they miss such a vital piece of evidence? If your investigators are this lax, how do you expect us to do our job? No, wait a minute, Worthy. I've no desire to hear your excuses. I'm telling you to wait. Oh, didn't you hear me? Have a look at this document, where it says person in charge of investigation. There's no mistaking that signature, is there? Miles Edgeworth? That's not fair. On the day of the crime, I had your head in the clouds because you got that award. Oh, I know how you feel. But you're the person in charge. I'll expect a written apology. What? Are you serious? Don't be too upset. We'll find a way to clean up this mess that you made. This is the first time I've seen Mr. Edgeworth at a loss for words. This kind of major blunder is unlike you, Mr. Edgeworth. Gah. The court accepts this new evidence, but I'd like to ask the defense a favor first. Yes? Just to be sure, I'd like to take a look at this blade of this knife. The blade, Your Honor? I don't see why not. Could you open it up for me, I wonder? Yes, well, I think all you have to do is push that switch and... If I cut my finger, Mr. Wright, I wouldn't be able to pound my gavel anymore. Yeah, but if I cut my finger, I won't be able to point it at people anymore. Come on, just hurry up and open it. Alright. Oh, is it automatically gonna pick it for me? Thanks. Switchblade knife, okay. So this is what, SL92? Yeah. There's a small tag on this knife. It seems to say SL92. What does that mean? Well, I've heard something similar. DL6 of DL6 incident fame. But it's strange. Huh? Well, what is? I'm not certain, but I get the feeling I've seen this somewhere before. Letters like this, or letters that looked a lot like this, somehow. SL92, that's interesting. Wonder what that's in reference to. And there's like smudges and stuff on it. But anyway, there's the button. Press the button. Wow, don't scare me like that. I'm the one who's scared. Look at this knife blade. The tip is broken off. And this dark red stain. Blood? Switchblade knife found at the crime scene wrapped in the defendant's muffler. A small tag is attached. This does not excuse the actions of the police department. I would like to hear an explanation from the chief of police himself. I'm terribly sorry, but could I ask you to testify for us? About the split between the prosecutors and the police, and this knife? Oh, sure. Oh, sure thing. Not a problem. Not even a little one, really. Alright, department in disorder. Okay. This knife is special, but I can't say how here. Unless there's evidence to prove a connection between this knife and Goodman. That was a bad day for the department. We weren't in any shape to do an investigation. A detective was killed at the police department, see? What a mess. The time of the crime, 5:15. Scary coincidence, eh? It's not officially linked to this here case, so I can't talk much about it. There was a murder at the police department? A detective? That's hush-hush information, Aji. We haven't exactly announced it yet. Wait a second. You said 5:15. And that's the exact time that Detective Goodman was killed at the prosecutor's office. Order! 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 Anyway, we at the department were all flustered, as you might well assume. We're in the middle of a top-down secret investigation. Don't tell anyone, okay? I think we understand the police department situation. Well, Mr. Wright? 2 detectives killed at the same time in 2 different places? The chances of that are really slim. Scientifically speaking, of course. I'd like to exercise my right to cross-examine the witness. Very well. However, keep your questions focused on the case at hand. Okay. Alright. Knife is special. Excuse me, special? Hard to come by this particular knife anywhere else. Might that special thing be this little tag? Oh, sorry, Righto, but I can't say that now. Not that. We've established that the knife in Goodman's chest was this knife. Now, why was there another knife at the scene of the crime? That's quite a mystery. And like a mystery, it's wrapped in something. A muffler! So there's evidence to prove connection. This knife was found at the scene of the crime. I think that makes it connected to the case, don't you? See, there's a lot of things that go on at the department I can't explain. It's delicate, okay? Oh, sorry, Righto. Maybe there's something about that knife that will give us a clue. Let's examine that knife while we can, Righto. Evidence that links this knife to Detective Goodman. I think perhaps the pieces are falling into place. Wait a minute. What is that? Hang on. SL9. Wait a second. That says SL9, doesn't it? It's actually 212 SL9. I should try presenting the piece of evidence that's had me stumped all this time. So how were things down at the department? Bad day. Something happened at the police department too, huh? You got a good look in your eyes there, Righto, my boy. Sharp. Hungry. So something did happen. Why wasn't I informed? Why weren't you informed? Well, why didn't you ask? No matter. I understand. You were busy with Lana's case and all. Well, what happened? What happened at the police department that day? The detective was killed. Yeah, we gotta find out more about that. On the same day that a detective was killed in the prosecutor's parking lot? Another detective was killed at the police department? That's a fact. Surprising, isn't it, Taji? I'm at a loss for words. And the perpetrator? Do you have a suspect? Well, there was a suspect. Just arrested him, in fact. Just arrested? That was quick. But there's still a lot of unanswered questions. Maybe you could help, Righto. I suppose I could help if you help me by giving me data on your case. Oh, good one. This kid's sharp. Okay, here's the deal. I'll tell you one thing and one thing only. Where the victim was found, how the victim was killed. Well, we know when the victim died. We know that it was at the police department, so how were they killed? Well, how was the detective killed? How was he killed? Now that's the interesting part. It was what we in the force call a stabbing with a knife. A knife? That's exactly the same as Detective Goodman. That's the spirit. We're cooking now. But, you know, that's not the only thing that was exactly the same. What do you mean? There were more similarities between the two cases than the cause of death. Seems like I'm going to have to press this a bit harder. Time of the crime, 5:15. Yeah. 5:15? But that's when Detective Goodman was killed in the prosecutor's office. What? Funny, isn't it? A murder at the prosecutor's place and a murder at our place at the very same time. What are the chances? Coincidence? This is just my gut feeling, but I'd say there's a 0.001% chance of that happening. Chief Gant, please tell us more about the incident. It's not officially linked to this case, so I can't talk much, okay? How can you say there's no connection? How? Oh, because I'm the chief of police. I can't just say anything I please, right? Oh, you understand? Try to understand, righto. Well, if you can prove there's a connection, more power to you. Maybe there's something that ties the two murders together. Whatever it is, I'd better find it and get to the bottom of this. Two detectives were killed at 5:15, one at the prosecutor's office, and one at the police department. That can't be a coincidence. And that knife, what was it doing there? I better check this knife out. This knife... And this knife and Goodman. This... The SL9. Wait a second! Ah, at last! Oh, an honest-to-goodness objection. This knife. This has to have something to do with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? Ah! Honest-to-goodness, what do you mean from a... Oh, this is great. Look at the tag on this knife. Reads SL9 too. And this is important, why? Over here, we also have a memo that was on the body of the victim. What's this? 6 minus 7S 12 2. Your Honor, It's upside down. Upside! The printed name on the memo makes it look like it's right side up. But turn it around and what do you get? Aha! Whoever wrote this note was holding the paper upside down. SL9. That's the same that is written on the knife's tag. Order, order! Well, Chief? Well. Oh, I guess the cat's out of the bag. Oh, you win, Wright-o. I win? Oh, what game is this guy playing? Alright. This knife was evidence in a case. It was stolen from the department's evidence room. Alright, this evidence in a case. Alright. So this knife it was stolen? Yes, but on the day of the murder. It was evidence, you say? Hey, welcome. Hey, no problem, welcome. Was it in fact a murder weapon? Nice! Oh, good show, little worthy. It was a murder weapon, as it happens. It was evidence from a case long since solved. So this knife was stolen on the day of the murder? And it was found in the exhaust pipe of Edgeworth's car? Hard enough to think there isn't a connection there. Alright, detective was killed. There was evidence in a case. It was stolen from the department's evidence room. Okay. Okay. The knife was stolen from the evidence room. That's good to know. The police was killed. Time of the crime. It's not officially linked, so I can't talk too much about it. This knife was evidence. Now I'm curious what this might... Yeah, we have Bruce Goodman's card. I don't know if this means much, though. Like, name and ID number, Sergeant Bruce Goodman. Alright, we know all that, so we're good there. Death due to blood loss. Yeah, the Blue Badger for some reason. We have the SL9. So what exactly is the connection? I'm trying to think. What might be... Let's see. The knife. Can't talk too much about it. Can we... The knife. Yeah. Detective was killed. Yeah, we got all that. Wonder if there's any more, maybe where the victim was found? Let's see. So tell me, where was the victim found? Well, I can't speak on where the corpse was found. But I can say the crime took place in the evidence room with the police department. The evidence room? Wait a second. I have heard that. The evidence room. Didn't he mention that in his testimony just now? Yeah, this knife was it was stolen from the department evidence room. Yep. There's the connection between the two cases. You seem happy, Mr. Wright. Happy? We just got handed our ticket to go to town on this case. With the link between the two cases established, we finally have some leverage. Now we can get Gann to testify about the details. Alright. Can we... Chief, the defense's position is simply this. The connection between these two cases has already been proven. You don't say. Well, out with it, Wright-o. What's your connection? Yes, out with it, Mr. Wright. The connection is a place, mentioned in the testimony we just heard. The knife found in the lot was stolen from the police department's evidence room. Not to mention the victim had on him the case number on the knife's evidence tag. And we also know that the detective murdered at the police department was killed in that very same evidence room. Indeed. There do seem to be too many connections for it to be a coincidence. You two make a good pair. It took my men 2 days to find out what you deduced right here. Chief, request that you release your information on the victim at the police department. Oh, see, that's the tricky part. It hasn't been announced yet and all. Can we get the information unofficially? Sure, why not? It's unofficial after all. What, really? Who would have guessed? I'll cooperate, but I can't reveal the name of the victim at the department, okay? Let's see. If you're gonna tell us a little, why not tell us everything? Well, case information is sticky stuff. You have to do everything properly. Oh, well, I guess I might as well try to get what I can out of him. Ooh. The ID number. Okay, how about you tell me the victim's ID number? Oh, sure, why not? It's like you... I'm able to tell who it is from that. Of course not. You won't tell me their name, after all. We keep a tight lid on ID numbers. Don't go getting your hopes up. The number is... 584-2189. Well, that's quite long. And we have to remember these. It drives me nuts. 8, 2... Oh, I can't do it. You didn't even get the first number right. Well, Mr. Wright, does this tell you anything? The ID number of the victim at the police department, 584-2189. 584-2189. Is this his number? Hang on a second. Wait a minute. 584-2189. So wait a minute, he was killed and it's the same guy. Hang on a second. It's the same guy. This tells me something. Actually, it does, Your Honor. It does. I think. Meaning? It has to be what I think it is. But what does this mean? Well, let's hear what the defense has to say. You say the ID number of the detective who was murdered at the police department tells you something. What does it tell you? Witness? What is it, Mr. Wright? You're grinning like a schoolgirl on prom night. No, I got confused. And this is news? Uh-huh. Just come out with both guns blazing, like you always do. The police department, prosecutor's office, 2 places, 2 detectives murdered at one time. Actually, I happen to have a police ID number here. Oh, is it yours? No, Your Honor. I'm a defense attorney, remember? This is the ID number of our victim, Detective Goodman. Shame on you, Wright-o. Personnel IDs are top secret. Detective Goodman's ID number is 584-2189. And? Well, this means what exactly? Huh? Oh, wait. That ID number we heard from the chief earlier, that started with 82. I've forgotten. You didn't even get the first number right again. The number the chief of police gave us was 5842189. Wait a second, Wright. What does this mean? Well, that's what I want to know. The two ID numbers are identical. In other words, the detective killed in the police department's evidence room was Bruce Goodman. What does our witness think about that? Oh! Sharp as a tack, right? Oh, sharp as a tack. But wait, Detective Goodman is our victim. He was killed at 5:15 in the underground parking lot. Yet a Detective Bruce Goodman was also killed at the police department in the evidence room at the exact same time. That's impossible. So what we're saying is the same person was killed at the same time and in a completely different location? Order! Chief, what does this mean? No. What I want to know is why didn't I hear about this? Yes, it's top secret, fine, but I'm the prosecutor in charge of this case. Now, just wait a second, no need to get all flustered. Your Honor, the police department has made a grave error in this case. Wait. I said wait. Or didn't you hear me? The oversight? The grave error? Mr. Edgeworth, they're yours. What? How? We informed you yesterday. I believe it was our Officer Meekins who brought you the news. Officer Meekins? Mr. Wright, where have we heard that name before? Wait, aha! Right, back in his office. Yeah, Meekins came in, and he wanted to give him a report. Yeah, he wanted to give him a report, and Edgeworth kicked him out. You don't mean him? According to Meekins, who didn't accept the report. Hard to believe. But your officer, he told me, he said that report had nothing to do with the Lana Sky incident. Detective Bruce Goodman, murdered in the police department evidence room. Mr. Edgeworth, the victim's name is written right at the top of the report. Go! Why didn't your officer tell me? Honestly, I'm not sure if that officer was capable of making the connection. He did seem challenged. In any case, this is a serious error. Gross negligence on duty of your part, Worthy. But sir, you could have submitted that report this morning to the court as evidence. Then No such luck this time, Worthy. Or should I say unworthy? What? Now, what was the second rule of evidence law? Well, Mr. Wright? Huh? Oh, well, it's, rule number 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And how is this rule relevant? Well, normally you submit a list of evidence to be used in court before the trial. This report wasn't on that list. So, what does this mean? I couldn't submit this evidence until a connection was proven in court. Huh? The connection was just proven by Wright over there. Good job, Wright, me boy. Huh? I was just doing my job. No. No! It seems we've come to the end of this trial. I know you're going through a tough time, Worthy, with all those rumors. You were even in the defendant's chair just this past December. I apologize for this terrible lack of due diligence on my part. Mr. Edgeworth, please just give me one day. I'll get to the bottom of what happened. If it's the last thing I do, You'd better get results this time. Really? You have my profound apologies, sir. Or Mr. Edgeworth. I don't think there's ever been an error this serious in the history of the court. I will grant one further day as the prosecution has requested. Will that be sufficient, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Whatever your punishment for this is, for your sake, I hope it's not decisive. Very well. Court is adjourned. Ooh. Big twists and turns. Yes, we're going to save our progress. February 23rd, 2:15 p.m., the Wright & Co. Law Offices. Mr. Wright, so what's going on with the case anyway? I'm a little confused. Huh? Well, let's see. What is going on? The victim, Detective Bruce Goodman, was stabbed to death after 5 p.m. on the 21st. He died in the prosecutor's parking lot in the police department's evidence room. What's this and the evidence room part? The prosecutor's office and the police department are 30 minutes apart by car. Well, that's what we're gonna find out, or try to at least. All right, let's do it. Glad she's in good spirits, but I'm not sure she's going to be much help with this. Don't be so sure, Mr. Wright. Huh? Look, we're in this together, right? I'll prove that these thick-rimmed glasses of mine aren't just for show. Let's go. Science awaits us. February 23rd, prosecutor's office, underground parking lot. You know, I really don't think we should worry about the police department murder. There wasn't even a body found there. Who cares? Yeah, it was only our victim who was killed in their evidence room. No biggie. Besides, my sister would never do such a thing. I know it. Oil drum. Yeah, she kicked over the oil drum. Yeah. My sister erasing evidence at the crime scene? Never. Even though she says they don't get along, Emma really likes her sister. That's not it at all. It's just... we're both professionals at what we do, and I trust her. Big words for a high school student. Well, whether there was blood on the floor or not, the water in that oil drum washed it all away. Hehehe. Ignore the strength of my science at your own peril, Mr. Wright. Huh? What's that grin for? This situation calls for one thing, and that is luminol testing fluid. Luminol? Blood is sticky stuff, you know. You can't just wash it away with a little water. Even if you can't see it, it's still there. But wouldn't the police have already done those tests? Never trust anyone's eyes but your own, Mr. Wright. Just give it a try. But me? Why do I have to do it? I'm a minor. I can't even drink yet. We're testing bloodstains with this stuff? I'm not drinking it. Here, look. I'll lend you these glasses. Huh? You had an extra pair of these things? To test for a blood reaction, just spray the luminol on it. Like this, see? Press enter to spray it on. Okay, let's find us some bloodstains. Okay. Oh! We got some. I can see her eyes shining behind those glasses. So, is this a bloodstain? It's so... Oh. Emma, you're shaking. It's just, this is my first time seeing real blood. Scientific investigation in action. Okay, well, we definitely know that this is a bloodstain. But doesn't something strike you as odd? Well, scientifically speaking, of course. Well, what's odd about this scientifically? Is it the location or the amount of blood? I think the location. Well, no, because if he was stabbed, I guess it would make sense. Probably the amount. The perpetrator and Detective Goodman fought here, right? Don't you think there'd be a little more blood? I definitely think so. I mean, look at all the blood on the sole of the victim's shoe. It is pretty strange. If they fought here, there'd have to have been more blood than this. Hey, Mr. Wright. I'm gonna mark up the floor plans where when we find a bloodstain, okay? See? I'm pretty handy to have around, right? Oh yeah, and this stuff's pretty handy too. I saved up my allowance to buy that. Good thing to save your allowance for. Luminol testing fluid received from one very proud-looking MSky. We can't be sure that the police will reveal all their evidence in court. Sometimes they fail to mention evidence that doesn't fit with their view of the case. Then let's drag that hidden evidence out into the light of day. Yeah! It feels like we're really investigating a crime now, doesn't it? I guess I should give this a spray on anything I find suspicious. Ha! I wonder how that fluid of yours would react to a nice deli box. Miss Star! You only trust your own eyes, huh? Not bad, you two. This day-old deli box is on the house. Sorry, it's just that kind of lead-in doesn't really get my mouth watering. You certainly put me in a tight spot today. My apologies, Miss Star, but no, it's okay. It was my fault. Oh, we know. I witnessed everything from that security room right there. But I was afraid that wouldn't sound convincing enough, you see. I was wrong to think that. I'm sorry. Sorry? You lied on the witness stand. That's unforgivable. But apparently not a crime. Little girl, don't forget what's important here. Even if the place I witnessed the events from was different, I still saw what I saw. I saw Chief Prosecutor Sky stab a man in cold blood, and that testimony still stands. Ah. I swear it on my honor as a detective. She stabbed Goodman. I know this photograph has something important to tell us. What? So, you were a detective, weren't you, Miss Star? Yes, it was a long time ago. Well, 2 years ago. No matter how hardened the criminal when they faced me, they coughed it up. Coughed it up? They confessed. They babbled like babies. You know. I may seem like a demon sometimes, but I can be an angel, too. I wouldn't doubt it. Every day I drag the dirt out of the mouths of suspect after suspect. And before long, they called me the Cough-Up Queen. Oh, and here I thought someone had gotten food poisoning from your lunches. And you were let go? Fired? Yeah, then from proper... yeah. It's all because of that case, the SL9 incident. SL9? Wait, she doesn't mean... Hang on. What do you think about this? The SL9 incident. It's written on that knife. And on that note. Goodman. Goodman was the head detective on that case, you know? Really? That knife was evidence from that case. The murder weapon. It was due for transferal the very day that Goodman was killed. As I suspected, SL9 isn't over. Not yet. Do you think you could tell us more about the SL9 incident? Why isn't that an option yet? I want to know more about it. Would the knife do it? Let's see. Nope. SL9. Luminol. Yeah. Let's see. That's not has anything to do with it. The victim's shoe? No, she's not interested in that either. Okay. Alright. What? Oops. What can we look at next? That is the key question. Parking lot, we got the Lana's cell phone, Goodman's autopsy report. So, what might get her talking about the SL9 incident? Ooh, let's see, what else can we show her? Her photo? If you think about it, I could have taken that picture from the guard room, but even I get flustered sometimes. So you went straight to the scene of the crime? I rushed towards the chain link fence in an effort to stop the murder. And that's when I took this photo, yes. In other words, 5 minutes after the crime? Those 5 minutes are the whole problem. The hole in my testimony, as it were. The 5 minutes weren't the problem, Miss Starr. You lying was the problem. Listen, little girl, I've had my testimony disregarded before, and I wasn't gonna have it disregarded again. Just like that time. That time? Oh, okay. Can you talk about it now? Thank you. That incident really opened up my eyes to the truth. We're nothing to them. Disposable. Disposable to who? 2 years ago, it was the biggest case I'd ever handled. The police and the prosecutors were desperate for decisive evidence. So they didn't solve it? On the contrary, it was solved quite cleanly. The criminal was caught and executed. Executed? Yes, the criminal got what was coming to him. Doesn't get any cleaner than that. The only problem was, they never did find decisive evidence, not a shred. What? But the criminal was executed, right? On the basis of evidence, of a sort. Made up evidence. What? You mean they executed someone with fabricated evidence? The best part came several months after the trial. Every detective involved with this case was dealt with. Some were demoted to patrolmen, others found themselves out of a job. And you were one of those? Myself and one other person you know well. Wait, could it be? Exactly. Detective Jake Marshall. Oops, I mean, Police Department Security Detail Officer Jake Marshall. Oh. As professional detectives, we investigated that case from every angle. Jake was particularly determined, and then it was over, and he was demoted. However, he hasn't forgotten, and neither have I. You haven't forgotten SL9? There was another side to that case, a hidden side. That's what we're after now. And no one up in their fancy offices can stop us. Wait, those lunches you sell. There's only one reason I come to sell lunches in this accursed office. I come here to meet old friends, boyfriends that can help me investigate. Miss Starr's old boyfriends, how many does she have anyway? Just when all the detectives on SL9 have disappeared, we find new evidence. There has to be a connection. So, rookie, what? It seems like you're serious about investigating this case. Yes. Then you should take this. Salisbury steak lunch? I know a certain guy who might help you if you tempt him with this treat. See, excellent for putting Officer Marshall in a good mood. Oh, okay. Miss Starr? Officer Marshall, is he your, are you his... Are you going out? Why do you want to know? I was just wondering what happened to him. A long time ago, when he was helping my sister do cases, he was so nice. He got along so well with my sister, it made me jealous. And he was nice to me too back then. This would be when Officer Marshall was a detective. But now he's so cold. Jake and I are merely cooperating on this investigation. We're putting the past to rest, as it were. And nothing more than that. I see. Thank you. Officer Jake Marshall. Okay. That's a good to know. So we found blood over here. That's when... yeah. Let's see. Could you... No. Alright, so we don't have anything with the luminol. I know that. Can we use the luminol anymore? Spray. There we go. Aha! This blood must be from when Lana... No! My sister isn't the murderer, but she did call you, didn't she? At the time of the crime? And her right hand is bandaged. Hey, just whose side are you on? This has nothing to do with taking sides. So, this means that Lana's hand had blood on it. This just keeps getting worse. That's good to know, though. Anything else with blood? I'm gonna use up your whole bottle of luminol, lady. That must be it. Okay. Right. That's good, though. That's good. So where can we go next? The police department? February 23rd, police department entrance. It's even busier here today than it was yesterday. The detectives are running around so fast they're blurring. I suppose it makes sense. A detective did get killed here, after all. So, the evidence room, the scene of the crime. According to the pamphlet we got at the front desk, here it is. Just like a kid in an amusement park. Hey, didn't Phoenix should know where it is. He got tased in the evidence room just a couple months ago. Oh, a real crime scene. Let's go take a look. All right, can we go to the guard station? There we go. Hey, this guard station looks familiar. All right, February 23rd, evidence room entrance, guard station. So wait, Officer Marshall was the evidence room guard? I mean, this is the same evidence room, right? What's with the decor in this place? It's very eccentric. According to the pamphlet, this is the guard station for the evidence room. So beyond that door is the evidence room, the scene of the crime? It sure seems that way. Oh. What's wrong? It's those cacti. They're so prickly, so imposing. It's hard to think straight. If you can't handle the cacti, stay out of the desert. What I want to know is if this is a guard station, where's the guard? I have a feeling I know who he is already. Yeah, where is he? There's a security guard uniform hanging up there. It looks more like a costume than a uniform, honestly. They leave a drunk cowboy in charge of the evidence room. That is closer to the truth than you realize. A leather jacket, leather pants, a leather... What was that called again? A punchy? A paunchy? A pinchy? Oh, I know, a poochie. Oh, wait, maybe that wasn't it. It's a poncho, but I think I'll keep that information to myself. Yipes, these sure are prickly. They must be the real deal. I would think just one big one would be sufficient. These cacti are a lot like my sister, actually. How so? Encased in a cold, rigid shell, with spines pointing in every direction, just like her. I'm not so sure I see that resemblance. It's more an attitude thing than a physical similarity. Nice. The computer. You know he's just confiscating the drugs and the alcohol and using it. Yep, all the evidence. Looks like there's a video feed from the evidence room here. Wait, is this the evidence room from the last case? Because if so, they'd have Von Karma tasing us on camera. There's a light blinking below the monitor. It says recording. I bet we could use this computer to check on who went in and out there. Yeah, let's do. Why don't we do that right now? Because there's not a guard here. This swinging door makes this place look like some kind of saloon. But look, it's nailed shut. You can't get in that way. Of course not. If you went in through here, the cactus would fall over. Ouch! I'd say it'd be more of a yeah myself. What's this? Look on the floor, a lasso. Looks like it's set up to trap something. A trap here? Oh wait, I know. Maybe someone was trying to catch a wild bull in here. But the lasso missed! Cleveland slacking, I don't see him in the stream. Oh, you sure have an active imagination. The door. The evidence room is beyond that door. Let's just walk in. It won't open. You thought it'd be open? I think we need someone's permission to go in there first. Well, if that's everything, how about we go to the main detective area, I guess? Can we? Actually, can we ask Edgeworth? Wait, February 23rd, police department entrance. This place is charged with frantic energy, as always. Please! Huh? Wasn't that... One steak lunch, please! Oh, it's you. Detective Gumshoe. Now's no time for chit-chat, pal. I'm a busy man. What I really need is a steak lunch from Lunchland. Oh, you mean one of these? Actually, it's not for sale. Don't do that. Don't do that. Travis for the predator. Yeah, they have a predator in the police department. I think I just heard the sound of his heart breaking. Now's no time for despair. We've caught our criminal. Now we just need evidence. The criminal? You mean... You heard about the stabbing in the police department evidence room, right, pal? On the same day, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because he said there was a suspect they just arrested, yeah. It's the biggest scandal that hit the station in ages. Everything's topsy-turvy. But Detective Gumshoe, who was it? Listen, pal, all I know is I need me a steak lunch. Pronto. Standing around here talking isn't gonna fill my belly. Ooh, wait, don't leave. If you want to know more, head on down to the detention center, pal. Questioning should be over, so I figure he's down there having a good cry. Later. He ran off to the evidence room. Well, this investigation is off to a running start. Yeah, what's the deal with that? All right. Can we go to the Criminal Affairs Department? February 23rd, police station, criminal affairs. What is the state lunch evidence? Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, we got to give it to the detective guy or the cowboy detective. Wow, everyone looks deadly serious here. Well, there was a vicious murder of a detective down at the police department. Yes, but the same detective was also killed at the same time in the prosecutor's lot. Oh, it makes my head hurt. Well, first things first, let's go check out the police department crime scene. Yes, you sound dead set on investigating. But don't mess up, or we could wind up dead. I don't anyone wants more mysteries or dead bodies around here right now. But it doesn't look like anyone's gonna help us much either. Okay. Well. Can we go to the detention center? February 23rd, detention center, visitors room. Still, I do feel better about things. A little. I mean, they caught the person who stabbed Detective Goodman, didn't they? Yeah, I guess they did. Best to not go too far down the road right now. Things will just get confusing. What was that? Sir? That's what I'm saying. Me? A perpetrator? I'd say I was the perpetrated against, sir. That's what I'd say. Hi. Greetings, sir. Wait, I know who you are. Yeah, it's the guy who was trying to deliver the letter. Yeah. Officer Meekins. So you're a guard here at the detention center? No, sir. I'm not, sir. I'm a little lost patrolman, like a little lost lamb, sir. Oh, I get it. You're here to deliver a report? No, sir. How should I say this? Wait, he isn't. Is he? You, Officer Meekins, you didn't, did you? Perpetrator Officer Meekins reporting, sir. What? What? Now this is an unexpected turn of events. Sir, I'm a patrolman with General Affairs, sir. Sir! Ow, I can hear you fine, Officer Meekins. I had some business that day, sir, and so I went to the evidence room, sir. The guard station in front of the room was empty, sir. So normally there's a guard at the evidence room? That's right, sir, because the evidence is kept in the evidence room, sir. Now, the security officer was none other than Officer Marshall. Marshall? Then, sir, I happened to glance at the security room monitor, and that's when I saw him, sir. A suspicious person in the evidence room. A suspicious person, sir! A suspicious person! Yow! What the heck is this guy doing? So what happened then? After that, sir, everything went white. I saw red. I blacked out. And when I came to, I was here, in the detention center. How long were you out? Days? Might I ask, what happened to your hand? Sir, there was no one to bandage me, sir. So I did what I could to wrap it up, sir. A bandage on his hand? Just like Miss Sky. Yet another similarity between this case and the one at the prosecutor's office. First things first, tell us how you hurt your hand. Yeah, let's talk about the victim. I don't mean to pry, but you are the perpetrator, correct? You killed Detective Bruce Goodman in the evidence room, right? Sir, please don't look at me with those sad puppy dog eyes, sir. If you have to label me as a perpetrator or a victim, sir, then label me victim. I would, but you happen to be in detention, and alive and well at that. Well, yes, that's true, sir. I suppose you could say that. Did you know the victim, Detective Goodman? Well, sir, if I had to label him as a stranger or a total stranger, then I'd say he leans heavily on the total stranger side. So, you didn't know him? Sir, I work in a tiny department, devoid of light or any other creature comforts. I don't know any detectives. So, if he was a total stranger, why'd you stab him? Sir, I had no intention of killing him, sir, none. Nor do I have any recollection of killing him, sir. At least someone around here is more confused than I am. About your hand, did that happen during the course of the crime? Well, you see, sir, Don't you think you should just confess? But sir, but there was nothing I could do. Nothing you could do? Sir, to tell the truth, sir, when it happened, when the detective pointed that knife at me, I just hollered, sir. And the next thing I knew, I was unconscious. The next thing you knew, you were... Huh? Then, when I opened my eyes, I was alone in the evidence room, sir. All alone. Alone because Detective Goodman had disappeared. What? Then when I looked down, I saw there was blood gushing down from my hand, sir. Oh, the shock. Oh, the sorrow, sir. Can you imagine how I felt? The victim's body disappeared? That's some story. Sure is. Is there anything else we can get out of Meekins right now? Like I don't know, would he recognize the ID? Do you think you could take a look at this? Hey! That's it, sir, that's it! That's what? My head was blank until this very moment. But now, sir, I remember, sir. You mean you remember what happened? Correct! That card was the cause of it all. This ID card? Exactly, sir, that's exactly it! Nothing could be more exact, sir, nothing. I better pry into this one a little deeper. Okay, crime details. Can you tell me what it is you do remember? Well, sir, you might say I'm a little lost patrolman. A lost little lamb, if you will. I didn't know Mr. Detective Goodman, who was in the evidence room, and that's why you thought he looked suspicious. Sir, I entered the evidence room and asked the man to show his ID card. Well, that sounds pretty much by the book so far. That's right, sir. That's what I've been trying to tell you. So you asked Detective Goodman to show his ID card. What did he do? That's the thing. Suddenly, he pointed a knife at me. What? Sir, I assure you I was as flustered as you are right now. So I whooped and leapt at him. Detective Goodman pointed a knife at him? Do unto others before they do unto you. My father's own words, sir. What happened then? Well, my eyes, sir. Everything went white. When I awoke, I was here. Right. So, Officer Meekins, why was it they arrested you? What do you mean, Emma? Well, let's look at what we know. Now, Officer Meekins didn't know Detective Goodman, and the victim, whom he met at the scene of the crime, didn't show his ID card. In other words, we have no way of knowing if the victim was really the victim. And if this body just disappeared from the evidence room, we don't even know if anyone actually died. That's it, sir. That's what I wanted to say. That is, I did say something along those lines. Huh? But you still ended up here? They told me that it had to be him, sir. On that day, at that time, Detective Goodman was definitely in the evidence room. Well, that's what they said. But you don't remember the events clearly? No, but the videotape is quite clear. Huh? Videotape? From the security camera. The crime! My crime! The crime I swore to stamp out! It's there! It's me! It's on tape! And you waited until now to tell us this? I'm sorry, really sorry, sir. I'll hand over my badge. I don't deserve it. No thanks, I have my own. Well, I guess we better go check out the crime scene. Actually, do you want to look at my badge? Officer Meekins, have a look at this. Go ahead, sir. Laugh. Laugh at me, sir. Huh? I know what you want to say. You're gonna tell me how she has one just like it. Me? Why would I? I know, sir, I know. I'm the only one without a girl with matching badges. Nowhere. I'm alone. All alone. Is that so wrong? Life isn't all about high school sweethearts and youthful romance, sir. Is he talking about those badges on her coat? I'd like to think there's a difference between my badge and a fashion accessory. Alright. Can we get into the evidence room? Criminal affairs. Hey, Mr. Wright, look who's standing at the Chief of Detectives desk. It's Police Chief Gant. You're sure this is all? You don't know what it means if there's anything missing. Sir, I'm sure it's most likely totally perfect. We checked all of his drawers, lockers, garbage cans, bags, coat pockets, hats. Under his seat cushion, behind his computer monitor, inside his personal coffee machine. I see. Well, if anything does turn up, you call me right away. Deal? Yes, sir. We'll scour the place again, sir. The Chief of Detectives looks a little flustered. Da ha ha! Righto, my boy, how you been? Swim much? Oh ho ho! Chief Gant, reporting for duty, sir. Why are you saluting him, Mr. Wright? Is Edgeworth gonna be okay? Oh, were they? Oh, you know, they were doing a little inquiry committee with him. Sounds like an inquisition. Yeah, well, they've had no end of trouble with the boy since last year. You mean the incident on Gourd Lake? It doesn't look good having a top prosecutor sit in the defendant's seat, does it? And you got someone else found guilty in that case, right? Righto? On Karma. A legend he was, undefeated in his 40-year career. But in court you fixed it so he was caught for forging evidence. Wait, I didn't do anything wrong. He did forge evidence. In any case, the prosecutor's office is in a bit of a turmoil, you might say. Why, they'd do just about anything to restore their reputation. Now, depending on what that inquiry committee decides, it could be bad for Worthy. What? It's downright odd, I tell you. The detective getting killed on their turf, too, I mean. They're being the prosecutors, I assume? Scientifically speaking, it's impossible. Yes, but that's what the evidence is saying. Goodman was stabbed in 2 locations at the same time. That's what it says. What evidence is this? Now, Righto, I can't give away all our secrets like that. And this in particular. Well, it's a little sensitive, but I can't talk about it. I wasn't expecting much anyway. You know, one thing I hate most of all is hiding stuff. Secrets. Can't stand them. But, you know, it's a full-time job just keeping the Chief of Detectives trapped shut. He was the one you were picking on earlier? Huh? Oh, you saw that? Whoops! I wonder what it was that he wanted the Chief of Detectives to do. Let's see if we can kind of discreetly ask him. Can we, Hey, you want to look at my badge, Mr. Gant? I was wondering, could you take a look at this? Oh, sorry, Righto. I'm through with that stuff. Through, I say. Go find the guy who can't seem to sit still out there. The busy one. The guy who can't sit still. Oh, does he mean Detective Gumshoe? Either him or the dancing blue badger. Ah. Oh, sorry you had to see that. What exactly did the Chief of Police want you to do? Well, see over there? That's Goodman's desk. He wanted me to check it for anything that might be a clue. It took away every last piece of garbage in the trash can. So nothing belonging to Detective Goodman is still there? Of course not. Well, except for this. What? You kept something? Sure, why not? It's not important. You didn't even finish writing it. It's a lost item report, but it's only half complete. A lost item? Did Detective Goodman lose something? The date on it is February 21st. Better make a note of that, just in case. A half-written document dated 2/21. Oh, can only be submitted to the Chief of Police. Interesting. I should really get back to investigating the police department crime scene. Yeah, are you, permission to enter, there we go. Actually, I was wondering if I could ask you a favor. Well, I never thought the day would come when Wright would ask me for help. I was wondering if we could investigate the evidence room. No, Righto. Actually, I'm sorry. I don't need to investigate after all. Righto, please. Oh, do I look like a selfish man? Huh? Heck, if anyone asked me, sir, can I borrow $50? I'd give them $50. No problem. Sure, go ahead. Investigate that room to your heart's content. Knock yourself out. If it goes to show, you never know until you ask. And for you, here, you can borrow this. Huh? Hey, this is a detective's ID card, isn't it? That's a special card for guests, so don't lose it. Yes, sir. It's an honor. You just run along and do your best now. Later, folks. It looks pretty cool on my lapel, doesn't it? Just think, a real ID. You seem happy. Yes, sir. Because, sir, we get to go into the evidence room now, sir. I think this place is a bad influence on the girl. Huh. So which one was Goodman's desk? This one? These are the detectives' desks. There are computers and files in each one. Funny, they're a lot tidier than I'd expect. I guess the detectives don't spend a lot of time at their desks. That must be one of the detectives. He's mumbling something to himself. I know, the killer used a cassette tape. What a crafty trick. That gunshot was a fake. This is good. No one will expect a cassette tape in this day and age. He's not writing a report, he's writing a novel. Anything else? There's the Blue Badger. So this is the police mascot, is it? The Blue Badger, this future star of the police force. The design's a little changed from the one outside. Well, the Dancing Blue Badger, TM, is still under development, you see. You have it trademarked? Absolutely, it's cutting-edge stuff. Very now. I showed this doll here to my daughter and she burst into tears. Don't show her the moving mock-up outside then, you'll give her nightmares. A poster of a female police officer. Wait, no, that's the latest Babes in Uniform calendar. My bad. Yeah, that was the same. That's the same calendar from last time. Is it not the same month? All right, let's go back. Police department. And guard station. Here we go. So the evidence room is beyond that door. And we have the ID card from Chief Gant. Let's just walk in. It won't open. Aha! The card reader is turned off, see? What is that security guard thinking? Howdy, partners. Well, well. What's made my Bambina's sky so gray? Officer Marshall. Why does it have to be him? What's that? Why does it have to be him? Look for. As you may have surmised, this here's my saloon. We're here to investigate the crime scene. Yeehaw! That card you got on there on your chest. That's better than a sheriff's badge in these parts. Yeehaw? Well, what are you standing there for? Get along, little doggies. The crime scene's a-waiting. Looks like the card reader's on again. While we're here, I was wondering if we could ask you some questions. Sorry, cowboy, but I got no mind to tangle with you hombres. You're busy then? Did I say that? I only said I didn't wish to speak with you. Actually, you said you had no mind to tangle with us hombres. You wanted some steak? That smell. Ah, reminds me of Texas. So, Officer Marshall, you're from Texas? No, I just saw a special on television the other day. Is this from my baby? Yeah, Miss Starr. What's this? What? What's wrong? A filet steak lunch. I see! I don't see. I wonder what that means. Steak lunch given to Officer Marshall. Okay. Alright, Bambina, you win. Ask anything. Finally, it seems like he's willing to talk. Okay. Officer Marshall, you're in charge of security for the evidence room, right? You got good eyes, partner. It's an easy job, and I'm grateful for it. Actually, Officer Meekins at the detention center told us. Ah, that poor little doggy. Poor guy, I keep getting his name wrong and calling him Meekly. He told us something. He said that when the stabbing occurred, you weren't at your station. Well, maybe I shouldn't be telling you this. But since I got demoted from detective 2 years ago, well, it might not look it. But I lost my fire for the job, you know? So, what were you doing around 5:15 when the murder took place? Well, I reckon I was galloping down the highway on the back of my steed, Zippy. No, he was riding down the highway on his horse named Zippy. There's no need for people here anyhow. These newfangled machines do a bang-up job of keeping an eye on the place. You mean the security camera system? I don't take the machines much. Kind of like that stewed broccoli they sneak in next to your steak, you know? Miss Starr told us something. She said that you were a detective until 2 years ago. It was always my dream to be a raw-hired wrangler on the scene of the crime. That's all gone now, like a drinking hole in a prairie fire. You're still investigating the SL9 incident with Miss Starr, aren't you? That was my case. It's all solved on the record books, but it smells like a bad game of poker. I can't let it go. That's all there is to it. What kind of case was it anyway? We've heard the name so many times, but no one tells us what actually happened. There are some things you're better off not knowing, Bambina. Anyway, that case is officially dead as of 2 days ago. 2 days ago? The day of our case? That's right. The evidence transfers. Edgeworth was talking about the transfers too. I know what maybe 2 of the machines in here do. Only 2 of them? There must be a dozen. Like I said, Bambina, me and machines, well, I like them about as much as I like stewed cauliflower with my steaks. The easiest ones to understand are these here security cameras. Those are the ones that Officer Meekins mentioned. If nothing happens, the tapes are automatically erased every few hours. And Officer Meekins and Detective Goodman, are they on one of those tapes? I reckon they might be. You're the security guard and you reckon? One more thing. When you go into the evidence room, you need an ID card. Thus, the card reader by the door. The card reader leaves a record of every ID card that passes through here. 5842189. Yep. So this is the ID card record. 514. Hey! I've seen that somewhere before. Sorry, Bambina, I can't show you more than that. Huh? I haven't heard whether this is related to the case yet. Mr. Wright, I saw a number on that record just now. I've seen that number before. Maybe there's some way I can prove that record is tied to the stabbing. Well, let's talk about the transferal before I show him the ID card. Sorry, but could you explain what this whole transferal thing's about? We keep only evidence from solved cases in this room. They're kept here under the presiding detective's supervision for 2 years. So we can reinvestigate them if it turns out there was a mistake, see? So what happens to the evidence after 2 years? It goes to sleep forever in the underground vault of the county sheriff's department. That's what we call transferal. We do it every February. I see now. Transferal is like a funeral for old cases. 2 years after a case is solved, it's closed forever. Dead. Never to be reopened again. Never to be reinvestigated. And that happened to SL9 2 days ago. Show the ID card. See this? This is the victim's ID card. Ah, the one that was on the ground in the parking lot? The number on this is 5842189. Officer Marshall, show us that ID card record again. Look, the 4th number. It's a perfect match. It was used at 514, right before the stabbing. What's more, there's only one of them cards in the world. So when the incident occurred, Detective Goodman was in the evidence room? Oh, wait, what did Officer Meekins say? He said, yeah, he asked him to show the ID card and then he pulled a knife on him. Yeah, why would he have taken the knife out instead of just showing it? All right, compadre, you win. I guess I can give you this ID card record. ID card record, yeah. I've got an idea. Maybe I should show this list to other people with IDs here. That's a good idea. That's all we got, so let's go check out the evidence room. February 23rd, evidence room, sector 3. It's quiet. The investigation must be over here. So this is the evidence room? It really is kind of like a graveyard. Graveyards are supposed to have grass and trees. This feels more like a morgue. Nice try, Mr. Wright. You can't scare me. Ah! Whoa! Sorry, I thought you were a ghost. I wouldn't recommend going around smacking ghosts on the head, pal. So is it true what I heard? Oh yeah, he said something about letting us in, yeah. Yeah, it's true. So Chief of Police Gant will loan anyone $50? Even me? Oh, so that's what you were talking about. Actually, I was put in charge of the investigation for today. Just for today? Boss for a day. But guess what? You got permission from the chief. So now you're boss for a day. Oh, gee, thanks. First of all, you'll want to have a look at this. Evidence room floor plans, okay. You can always count on Gumshoe to just give us all the evidence. Alright, so we have Bruce Goodman for sure. So I wonder who 4989596 is. Because if you look at it, they checked in at 450. Goodman checks in at 514, and that same number checks in again at 514. And what is with number 7777777? Why is somebody's number all straight sevens? That's odd. Actually, you'd have an ID card. Can you tell us? Could you take a look at this? This is the ID card record of the people who came in here on the day of the stabbing. I know, just lucky, I guess, yeah. I heard the rumors. So it was Goodman who came in here at the time of the murder. Whoa! What is it? That second number. It's not your ID number, is it, Detective Gumshoe? Mr. Edgeworth. What? The second number on this list belongs to Mr. Edgeworth. What? What? IDs of all who entered the evidence room. Oh, wow. How would Edgeworth have come to the evidence room? So Edgeworth is 8730579? Interesting. Actually, I think you need to look at my attorney's badge. Detective, here's my attorney's badge. You show that to me every time we meet, pal. Real men show their police badge, enough said. I wish I had a badge, even an ID card would be nice. Let's see, the blue badge here. This is my crowning achievement, my masterpiece, you might say. But art is always misunderstood, pal. Art? He was dancing proudly on the day of the awards ceremony, but there were a lot of people coming and going after the ceremony, so they took the blue badger away for a while. Really? Why? Oh, they said it was shameful or something like that. Shameful? I toiled night and day. I sympathize with Detective Gumshoe, but I can see why they moved it. Alright. Is there anything else? What is this lost item report anyway? Lost item report, date due 2/21/2/21, ID 5/9. Huh. Would he know anything about it? Allow me to say one thing, speaking as a detective. If I see a piece of evidence I know nothing about, I say nothing. Nothing. That's fine. You bet it's fine, pal. right, boss for a day. So, Detective Gumshoe, you're boss for the day? That's right. It's an honor. After all, the murder took place right here in the police department. But if you're boss, why are you all alone? Where are your underlings? They're using yesterday's findings to prepare for tomorrow's trial. In other words, you got kicked out of the investigation. Again. I'm adamant, though. I'm gonna take control and put this case to rest. And my own evidence locker, pal. You have a locker in here too, Detective Gumshoe? Of course. I am a detective after all. They gave me a locker that only I can open, pal. Only you can open? I'll always believe in Mr. Edgeworth, no matter what happens. So, Mr. Edgeworth is with the inquiry committee right now, right? They're trying to figure out who's responsible for the mess up in court today. I see. I guess this is what you call fate. Mr. Edgeworth just can't get away from that case. That case? Yeah, that case. The SL9 incident, of course. That was the beginning of the end for Mr. Edgeworth. Maybe we can get him to tell us more about this case. This place is more high-tech than you might think. Every locker is fixed so that only one detective can open it. Using the ID card? Well, that's the thing, pal. ID cards can be lost. Why, I'm on my third card since entering the force already. That sounds like a lot. Yeah, but even I can't lose my own right hand. Right hand? Oh, you mean your fingerprint? Exactly, pal. The lock for each locker is coded with a fingerprint. Hey, you might want to ask Mr. Leon Kennedy of the Raccoon City Police Department about guys losing their right hands. So the only locker we can open is our own. Funny, they look like normal lockers. These are the latest model. There's a trick to the handles, see? The handles? On the other side of the handles is a sensor, and if the wrong person touches it, zap, you get a shock. If that's what happened, my hand would be black and smoking every day. In any case, the locks aren't all that obvious. There's even some people in the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. Okay, only assigned detectives' prints can unlock it. Interesting, so if Goodman... Huh. They needed Goodman to open the locker. Right. I think. Let's try to show him, yeah, the SL9 thing. Detective Goodman's note and that switchblade knife. I bet Edgeworth was the most surprised of anyone because of the SL9 connection. That was Mr. Edgeworth's first big case, you know, 2 years ago. That was the first time the world knew Edgeworth was a man to be feared. That's not Leon, that's Ethan, right? Well, Ethan's right hand comes off too, yes. Yep. But why would evidence from that case turn up now? I guess it's not over, pal. Maybe there are some loose ends left on that case. Well, tell us about it. Now, that was a bloody, violent case. Violent? So it was a murder? A serial killing. A serial killing? Maybe I don't want to get involved in this after all. But the killer made a mistake and Mr. Edgeworth built his case around that to nab him. And this was 2 years ago? That put Mr. Edgeworth right in the spotlight and started the rumor mill. Rumors about forged evidence? It was supposed to be all cleaned up with the transfer all the other day. It was the last job he ever did. Detective Goodman, that is. Huh? What do you mean? Detective Goodman was the detective in charge of the SL9 incident, see? So that switchblade knife. The victim took the knife out of the evidence locker himself? Interesting. Yeah, that's really interesting. What about the crime scene photo? That's the photo that Miss Starr took. Anything you can tell us about it? That Miss Starr is quite the lady. Why, I remember it was winter. I was 16. She was the only one who ever got me to talk about what happened. 16? That's how old I am now. I wonder what happened. I wonder if Detective Gumshoe wore a trench coat in high school, too. Parking lot floor plans. Is there anything else we can do for Gumshoe? I don't think so. Looking at our... I guess we can look around. Wait, what's that? There's something sticking out of here. Looks like a shirt. I guess it must be evidence for some case. I wonder if Detective Gumshoe put this here. There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of slob. I'm not responsible for the evidence here. That said, I bet that evidence locker was opened recently. How do you know? If you leave things hanging out like that, the evidence gets dirty or ripped. The guard checks on that kind of stuff and notifies the detective responsible. How many times have I had him breathing down my neck about some silly evidence? Sounds like Detective Gumshoe leaves evidence hanging out a lot too. I bet he doesn't tuck his shirt under that trench coat either. If you're gonna talk behind someone's back, don't do it right in front of them, pal. Wow, look at this big pile of junk in this corner. That looks like a car door. There's a pair of handcuffs attached to the frame. Maybe the guy they caught was some kind of escape artist and he got away. Hey, that's one of those human profiles for range testing. He's been shot square in the forehead. Better him than us. Hey, some sort of bulky equipment is gathering dust here. What a sorry-looking fishing pole that is. Ah, that's my personal pole. I never did get around to using it. Wait, I've seen that somewhere before. We finally got to the Snake Man part in Dark Souls. Oh yeah, that is the Sen's Fortress. Yeah, that's rough. That is a rough segment. Wait, I've seen that somewhere before. Right, pal. That's that metal detector. The one that led to the solving of that case out on Gourd Lake, remember? Oh, right. Wow, that feels like it was ages ago. And, I don't think I've seen this one before. Oh, that's a bug sweeper. I'm sure it will come in handy in solving some case sooner or later. That cheap-looking box? You can't judge a person or a machine by their cover. Gotta look at their heart. A bug sweeper, that could be handy. What's this, paint? Aha. Why is there gloves here? Someone left a glove here, but only one. Michael Jackson was here. Detective Gumshoe, maybe? There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of absent-minded detective. That's evidence from the case, you know? You mean SL9? It does have a tag on it. Rubber glove, added the record. Okay. What is a saw and paint doing here? Since the dawn of time, true art has always been a war against oppression. True art? I noticed that there's blue and yellow paint here. Perhaps we're witnessing the birthplace of the Blue Badger? Well, you might say this is my studio. Here? In the evidence room? Wait, a bloody handprint? What's this? Blood. It's a little worn, but there's definitely a handprint here. It looks like someone tried to wipe it off. Mr. Wright, what if there are other bloodstains left in the room? We should use her testing fluid to check it out. Yep. Wow, someone must have broken something big to make all these pieces. Detective Gumshoe, perhaps? Oh, there you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of hooligan. That's apparently from the case. The case? The SL9 incident, pal. See the sticker on one of the pieces there? Another piece of SL9 evidence. Let's look at it. I wonder what shape these pieces were in before whatever it was broke. You want to try to put it back together? Haha, good luck, pal. That's no job for amateurs. Why, I spent a good 3 hours on that before I had to give up. That's why I always carry around a tube of glue. Oh, this piece looks like the bottom. Let's try putting the rest in place. Oh no, I have to do a puzzle? I sure do. Okay. Hang on. Let's see. Did that? Wait. Yeah. That's not it? Oh, wait a minute. So I can actually pick the piece. Got it. Let's see. It looks like there's like a bunch of jagged edges. Is it this one? Oh, like that? There we go. Okay. And then now we have a more defined side. Maybe like that? No. I'm assuming that's not it. Maybe that? Or... like that? No, definitely not. Okay. That's not it. Oh, that did it. Okay. Does that just go right in like that? Perfect. Okay. So I'm guessing maybe that? Yeah. They really wanted to show off the DS's 3D capabilities with this one. I don't think they ever do this again in any of the games. All right. That looks like that slots in there pretty easily. And then I'm guessing that does not go there. Like that? There we go. And then that goes like that. Are we missing a piece? Oh, we are. Huh? Well, I think we did it, but some of the pieces are missing. Yeah, I got that far too in 2 minutes myself. The problem is finishing it. Were some pieces stolen? I bet they were missing to begin with. Still, it doesn't look like the most stable kind of jar. I kind of understand how it got broken. Unstable jar. Jar pieced back together from fragments found at the crime scene. A piece is missing. Huh. Weird. Let's examine this. Is that blood? Hey, look. They're hard to make out, but there are some dark red stains here. Looks like blood. Do you think Detective Goodman's blood somehow got on this when he was stabbed? Not likely. This blood looks like it's been here for months, maybe longer. This jar was evidence in the SL9 incident. That might be when the blood got on it. Could be. What's this? Huh? This thing doesn't have a bottom. That's weird. I wonder which side is up. Better yet, what's the purpose of a bottomless jar? At least it doesn't collect dust inside, right? Yeah, what is this? Did this go to something else, I wonder? It makes me think so. And now let's look at the rubber glove. So this says SL9. The tag says SL911. I guess this is another piece of evidence from that case. You know, I never did care for the word tag. It's confusing. Huh? Well, what's so confusing about that? Do you know how many other words sound like bag, gag, nag, lag, zag? Zag? Is that a word? Do you challenge me? What, are we playing a word game now? We're gonna play a quick game of Scrabble. Look, this one's open, and the red indicator light above the door is lit. That locker is coated with Detective Goodman's fingerprint. Detective Goodman's locker. Are you sure it's okay to leave it open like that? Well, it'd be hard to get it open again if we closed it. It's empty. They must have taken the contents elsewhere. This place is stuffed with evidence, stuffed with dreams. I'm not so sure about the dreams. It won't open. Did you really think it would? Hey, pal, our security is high-tech around here. Let's do some spraying. Yep, that's blood. I knew it. This is someone's right handprint. What? What's the matter, detective? This locker. It's mine. It's yours. Please. You have to help me when they come to take me away. Promise you'll testify that I wouldn't harm a fly. Oh, you'll do that for me, won't you, pals? This is an important clue, and I'll jot it down on the floor plans. I'm counting on you guys. Believe me, you can't trust the police. What? But you're a detective. Based gumshoe. All right. Oh, wait, what's this? Oh, that's a lot of blood. That is a lot of blood. That must have been one massive pool of blood. Never seen anything like it. I'm not a professional. What's your opinion, detective? Pale blue blood. Maybe Detective Goodman was actually an alien. This proves that something really happened in front of this locker. I'll make a note of it on the floor plans. Hey, if you didn't want my opinion, you shouldn't have asked. Is there anything else? Oh, here's another one. Why am I getting a reaction here? There's no reason for the murderer to touch the spot if he fled out the door. This just might be something significant. Hey, that's some pretty amazing stuff you got there, pal. What, this? It's called luminol testing fluid. Where'd you get your hands on that? Huh? I'd like to get some too. I'll just borrow 50 bucks from the chief. Where do you get this, Emma? I always buy my mail order. Well, I'd better jot this down on the floor plans. Hey, pal, look at the time. Was there something you needed to be going to? It's just that Mr. Edgeworth's inquiry committee should be letting out soon. I'm gonna go give them my report for the day. It might help, you know. Restaurant? Why is there a restaurant ticket there? Also, that guy, yeah, just put a bookmark in for that guy, by the way. Report? You mean the note written on the back of the flyer? The one that says nothing but no problems? Hey, it's Mr. Edgeworth we're talking about. I'm sure he can use a report like this. I believe in him. Who needs enemies when you've got friends like Detective Gumshoe? I'm off, pal. Later. I should probably see what Edgeworth has to say, too. Yeah, can we go to his office? Hey, Marshall. No, we don't need to examine. Do we have to go to Wright & Co. first? Oh, underground parking lot, yeah. Now we can go to the High Prosecutor's office. There we go. February 23rd, High Prosecutor's office, room 1202. What? Ah, guests. My apologies. Oh, it's you! Have we met somewhere? Huh? Mr. Edgeworth, I beg your leave. So long. Is Edgeworth here? There, standing by the window, a teacup in his hand. Right. He has the hotel bring him tea service? Mr. Edgeworth, you're back from the district prosecutor's office inquiry? I am. By the way, Detective Gumshoe was looking for you. Yes, he brought me the latest information, it seems. Really? Was it helpful? Apparently, a new French restaurant is opening near here. I think he was trying to console me somehow. The real info is on the other side, Edgeworth. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. I think this whole thing is really taking a toll on him. So, how did the inquiry committee go? Actually, they decided to treat this not as a case of concealing evidence, but as a communications error during the investigation. Concealing evidence? Yes, apparently there are some who believe that I concealed evidence. They gave me a warning. You were lucky this time. Again. Again? I've heard them say that so many times. Ever since that case 2 years ago. Are you okay for the trial tomorrow? Well, I'm still the presiding prosecuting attorney. However, something happened? They gave control of the investigation over to the police department. The police department? Yes, any further investigation of this case will be directed by the chief of police, Gant. I can do nothing but wait for his results. I see. Why, I ask you? Why? All along I've done only what I believe is right. I have nothing to be ashamed of. But still... Wow, I've never seen him this out of sorts. Can we talk about the case 2 years ago? I know you. You've probably got a hold of some information already, right? It all has to do with that case you were on, the SL9 incident. And some dark suspicion you were wrapped up in? You are the man who revived the worst memory of my life. I figured I'd be telling you about this sooner or later. He must be talking about his father's murder in that elevator. Okay, Edgeworth, why don't you tell me about it? Tell me the truth. The SL9 incident was a heinous serial killing case. The head of the investigation was the deputy chief of police at the time, Damon Gant. That wacky old coot was involved in the case 2 years ago too, then? He was a top officer, and it was my first time working with him. I was nervous. Oh, you get nervous too, Mr. Edgeworth? What I want to know is why was the deputy chief of police on the investigation? In truth, I used slightly more extreme methods than normal. We were dealing with a vicious murderer. If I let him go, the blood would be on my hands. We won our guilty verdict and the killer was executed. Wait, you didn't... Of course not! I didn't touch the evidence. Yes, I will do anything in my power to win a trial. However, I do have a code and I follow it faithfully. Staple jar. What do you know about this jar? Right, please, I'm the prosecutor on this case. You don't expect me to sit here and discuss the case with you over a cup of tea. I'll pass on the tea, just tell me about the case. Mr. Wright, Mr. Edgeworth just told you no in a very polite manner. Whose side are you on, anyway? Maybe I just show him my best evidence, I can get some reaction out of him. The crime photo? That's not my best evidence, for sure. My badge? Right, please. I'm the prosecutor. Oh, yeah. He said the same thing. Never mind. Edgeworth's knife. No? Nothing there to... Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. We have his ID card. Oh, right. I had better check this now. As I was saying, huh? What's this? A record of ID card usage? Edgeworth, you went into the evidence room that day, didn't you? I mean, just before the incident occurred, no less. Yes, that's true. Why, Mr. Edgeworth? Please don't look at me like that. I was asked to go by Chief Gant, no less. The Chief of Police? He wanted evidence for a case that wrapped up half a year ago. He told me he wanted to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. But it was solved, right? It would have to be if the evidence was already filed. The chief is never one to explain himself. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. Can I ask what kind of case it was? I can't say. It really has nothing to do with the current case. Now I'm curious about this other case. I'd better make a note of it. Yeah, evidence from a past case. Interesting. Stubborn as always. I told you this has nothing to do with the current case. By the way, Emma, the chief prosecutor wanted to know something. My sister? What? If you were still studying forensic science... Huh? Yes, of course. Why, just today, Mr. Wright and I were using this. Luminol testing fluid, Well then, you might have use for this. Aluminum powder for taking fingerprints? It's been chemically treated for better adhesion. For me? Are you sure? We are the enemy, you know. I've no say in today's investigation. Do as you will. Edgeworth, no need to thank me. Here, take your powder and these fingerprint files for everyone involved. Thanks. How about giving these to Detective Gumshoe as well? A fingerprinting set. Nice. Well, let's get going. One last investigation. Right. I do seem to remember seeing a suspicious handprint somewhere. Yeah, thanks, Edgeworth. Okay. Hey, Angel Star's gone. So let's head back to the evidence room. February 23rd, evidence room, sector 3. Our investigation turned up a suspicious handprint. Here in this blood in the detective's evidence locker. Let's use the secret weapon we just borrowed. Okay. Right, let's get started. First, choose a finger. A finger? Each finger leaves behind a slightly different imprint. So let's choose the finger that will have left behind the clearest print. I really can't tell the difference at a glance. Quit procrastinating and choose a finger. This one? Okay, now it's time to check for prints. Let me show you how it's done. Emma's starting to get that sparkle in her eyes. First, we sprinkle the aluminum powder around. Huh? How do you do that? With this, see? Ah, looks like that did the trick. The aluminum powder adheres completely to the print. Once the powder is well spread, just blow away the excess. Huh? How do I do that? With E. Exciting, I know. Oh, so in the original version, it literally made you blow into the DS's microphone to blow it away. Imagine you're blowing out the candles on a birthday cake. See? Wow, well that looks like fun. It might take some getting used to, though. It's fine, it won't go up your nose or anything. You just pour the powder on thick and blow away the extra. Those are the basics of fingerprinting, Mr. Wright. I guess I'd better give it a try. Yeah, we're gonna dump that everywhere, and then... blow? Aha! You did it! You found one! But this looks nothing like a fingerprint. Now that you mention it, I guess it doesn't. What does it mean? Yeah, I think it means we're out of luck. Out of luck? The person who left this handprint must have worn gloves. Don't tell me we've been wasting our time here. Hey, calm down. That's just the way it goes sometimes with scientific investigations. There's another handprint. But it does seem a shame. Oh, Reddit, why don't we look for other prints? Other prints? Looking at the locker door again carefully. Yeah. It seems like there are fingerprints outside the bloody handprint as well. Let's see if we can find a clear print. Fingerprints outside the blood. You mean this one? Let's try it. Aha! How clear do we need it? Yay! A print so clear it's dazzling. Dazzling? Anyway, this print took a lot of effort to find. Let's match it up right away. So we're not done yet? This is quite a process. Well, there's no point in finding a fingerprint and not knowing who the owner is, right? I guess she's right. Look at the fingerprint data we got from Mr. Edgeworth, and point out the person you think left these prints. Huh? How am I supposed to know who it was? I could make a pretty good guess. The bloody handprint and the fingerprint are in different places, right? That means that the prints probably don't have anything to do with our case. So whose fingerprints would we most likely find in this evidence locker? Gumshoe's, because it's his locker. Yep. Aha! So these prints belong to Detective Gumshoe. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You gave me this so what look. I guess that's probably because I was thinking, so what? Okay, so we came up with nothing this time, But there's always next time. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. You gotta roll with the punches, Mr. Wright. Oh, thanks for the sympathy. Wait, if I remember correctly, there was one other handprint in this room. Let's check it out. Yep, it's over here. Right? Wait a minute. We need the luminol again. Her name's on the bottom of it, that's cute. Let's see. Wait. Where was that other handprint again? Was it? Yeah, this is it. There was a handprint here. Okay. Want to try using this? There go her eyes sparkling again. Check for prints. Okay, let's check for prints. That's the spirit. Oh, but I have to warn you about something first. What? The area with the blood was wiped away, right? We only ended up finding it using chemical means. Any prints in that area will have been wiped away too. Oh, right. So that means no prints. Would you say the probability of your hypothesis is high? Don't ask me! Anyway, we must try to find prints that weren't wiped away. Prints other than the ones left by the bloody hand. Prints not left by the bloody hand. Would there be here? Maybe this? Or hang on. Technically speaking, there would have been a print there. Right? Aha! We've got a... Perfect. So... it's not Gant. Is it Goodman's? No. Wait, is it Marshall? That sure looks like his fingerprint. It is. Hey, these fingerprints, they... Whose are they? Whose? Is it someone I know? It's Officer Marshall. Huh? Officer Jake Marshall? Marshall's fingerprints. Oh, and they're bloody. That's gotta be a coincidence. He's not involved in the crime. Emma, this is decidedly different from Detective Gumshoe's prints. The luminol reaction, the blood and the fingerprints are in the same place. Oh. So we have Jake Marshall's fingerprints. On a white blood stain. But why would Officer Marshall? It looks like our investigation is finally turning up some results. I guess this is what you'd call decisive evidence. I don't believe it. To be continued. And that's a great place to call it for the night. Because I think this is heading into the next trial period. So let's call it from there. All right. Next time, we're going to do the Day 3 trial for Rise from the Ashes. I will see you then.